everyone, and welcome to BESEATV again. And this is another interview with Eugenia Low. So yeah, we're grateful to have her here today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi, I'm Eugenia. I am an actor. I came to acting quite late, so I'm an older actor, but I actually started in my 30s. So didn't go to drama school, but I did adult training. And I do lots of Shakespeare, and I work with an international theatre ensemble that works in theatre and translation. And I do all sorts of other things that, jack of all trades, basically.
Oh, that's lovely to hear that you started a bit later in life, because I'm the same. So I didn't really get properly into music till I was like 28. And by the time I got into music after my daughter had grown up, well, not grown up, but grown up enough to not like constantly need me. Yeah, I was like already too old for all the schemes and the courses and everything.
This is
So
the thing.
yeah, so it was so nice to meet a fellow like late starter, shall we call it? Yeah. Cool.
Late bloomer.
So tell us a bit then about how you got into acting, maybe what you were doing before, what led you to like have a change?
So basically, okay, I always liked acting. I mean, as a child, I loved it. But I grew up in Singapore, where theatre and acting and generally the arts to some extent is not really considered a career. So, and I was good at school, like I was clever, whatever that means. And so I got pushed into the academics. So I did history at university, which was itself a challenge because generally we were encouraged to do law or economics and that sort of thing, and your proper subjects, not fluffy history. But anyway, that was.
I'm just laughing along because this sounds like my life.
I think
Keep
it's
going.
common. I think like so many, particularly like East Asian, Southeast Asian performers kind of have alternative careers beforehand because that's what we were like directed into as being the only possible path or the worthy path. So,
Yeah.
so the extent of my rebellion was to do history. I was insisted. Now I went to Oxford and did all that, and I was actually going to be an academic historian. And so I did a doctorate, then couldn't find a job. So then I segued into law, and I did the conversion courses, and I spent 7 years working as a lawyer, as a solicitor in London. All that then kind of wasn't making me happy. I went through a divorce, basically. Had a bit of a reconsider of my life and what I wanted to do with it. And I realized that I really enjoy performing and I wanted to go back to that. So I started taking little courses, started doing stage combat, started fighting on film, that sort of thing. And it just kind of grew from that. And then there was a financial crash, and in 2008, and I just couldn't keep doing what I was doing, like ethically as well, because I was working in corporate tax. That's what I specialized in my legal career. And my job was basically creating schemes to help banks avoid tax. And after the financial crash and everything that caused it, I kind of couldn't do it anymore because I realized that what had been like a game, like a sort of an intellectual exercise of being clever with the law, had repercussions, had real life, was making the world the worst place, if you like, and hurting people. And I just couldn't do it. And so that kind of went at the same time as my sort of acting, sort of love of performing was growing. And so I just went, no, I can't do this. And so I quit that and became a full-time freelance performer in 2010, basically.
So how did you get your first like role? How did that happen?
So my first role, well, it wasn't paid, but it was a professional gig. Um, I'd met this theatre company as part of my training at the City Lit. They were doing one of our modules, and they invited me to be part of their ensemble, and they were doing a show, actually quite a crazy show, because they're a site-specific immersive company, and it was a show called Hotel Medea, which ran, well, it was an overnight show, so it started at 11 p.m. and finished at 6 a.m. with a sunrise and breakfast. And it was basically in this huge warehouse in Trinity Buoy Wharf, where we were, well, the ensemble basically played the Argonauts, played Medea's maids and all that, and we sort of interacted with the audience. We put audience to bed, we sort of like, you know, dressed them up in pajamas, we like ran them around the entire warehouse, hiding from, you know, sort of danger, that sort of thing. So it was a bit extreme, really. But that's how I got it, was because I was at City Lit and this company had come in to do our modules, and they liked what I was doing, so I got invited to be part of their ensemble. And yeah, thus began this crazy first gig, which, I mean, honestly, if I survived that, it's kind of like, you can survive this, you can survive anything, particularly because during the run, I had another show that I was also doing, and that was during the day. And because the run for Hotel Medea was extended, they clashed.
Oh.
So there was one weekend where I basically did not sleep for 40 hours. I went 40 hours straight without sleep, because I went from the evening show of Hotel Medea into the 2-day shows for the other show, and then straight back to Hotel Medea until the next day.
How did you do that? I need my sleep. I don't, but maybe, I don't know. I always say there's so many things that I won't do, but I'll do them for music. Like, I hate being cold, and I hate bugs, and I hate, not knowing whether there's bugs and stuff going to touch me.
Agree.
And I was like barefoot in just a nightie in the middle of the winter in a forest, like barefoot on the floor where all the bugs are. But I did it for a music video.
Yeah.
So it's amazing the things we'll do for art, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was mad. I didn't think I could do it, but like literally by the end of that time, I was walking into rooms and going, why am I here? What am I doing? Whatever come in? Oh God, where am I? And it was nuts. But I mean, to some extent, because it was a very extreme show. And so the more you're willing to sort of put it out there, the better it is. So in a sense, having lost the sort of control, if you like, it went fine. But honestly, I had no idea what I was doing.
Anyway, that sounds like, yeah, that is an interesting first experience. So, yeah. What does like an average, maybe not average, but like day, week, or month, like give us a feel for what that is like?
I mean, God, it varies so much. It's kind of almost impossible to say what I mean, and now with the pandemic, it's again changed completely. I mean, pre-pandemic, if you like, I combined, because I can't support myself full time with just acting work, so I do have a day job, if you like, and I work front of house at the Barbican Centre. So usually what would be a typical week would be about, I don't know, 10-15 hours doing front of house at the Barbican, ushering shows, ushering concerts, giving people directions, telling them where the toilets are, that sort of thing. And then, well, whatever acting jobs might happen to be happening that particular week. Currently, my weeks are, I mean, they're not standard by any stretch of the imagination, but I am working with a company that's doing Zoom performances, and they do Zoom Shakespeare we do a full play every month kind of thing, and then sort of in the middle bits, there's sort of scenes if you wanted to do them. So I've been doing that quite a lot. So
do people buy tickets for those?
No, well, I mean, it's free on YouTube basically. So you just, if you know what the link is, you just kind of rock up and watch it
Send
for
us some
free.
links from past and coming ones.
There's going to be one on Valentine's Day that I'm very excited about because it's Richard II, and it's one of my, I mean, it's pretty much on a par with me. Like Richard II and King Lear are my two kind of favorite Shakespeare plays, and I'm getting, it's kind of a secret because we're not supposed to tell in advance. I'll explain why.
Does that mean we should delete that bit?
Well, it's fine because it's if this comes out after February 14th, we're good. But and also it kind of doesn't matter, but it kind of anyway. I'm getting to play Richard.
Only warning, check before you keep this bit in the
If
end.
you don't want to know what Eugenia is playing in Richard II. But yeah, I'm getting to play King Richard, which is incredible, and I never dreamed that it could happen. And it's only possible, I think, because of Zoom. And I mean, his lines and his speeches are just incredible, and just the journey of the character is just incredible and beautiful. And I always remember watching David Tennant do it at the Barbican and falling in love with that performance and the play because of that. And so it's kind of, I'm excited. That's what I'm looking forward to. And that's what I'm working on at the moment.
So have you got any tips for people who are looking to get into acting or something creative and they haven't like taken that leap that you have yet? And yeah, got any tips, any lessons you learned along the way?
I mean, I guess the thing to say is that it's never too late. Right? Despite
I've
what
actually
people
written a song called Never Too Late about the fact that it's never too late to follow your dreams. We must keep telling people that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Despite what, all the schemes being for 18 to 25 and that sort of thing, and you can't be emerging if you're older than 30. It bugs me, and it sort of makes me sad, basically. But I mean, it is never too late, and it's a case of, I don't know, being sensible about it and being realistic about it. Don't expect to be a superstar, and I mean, if it happens, it'd be amazing. But it's a lot of hard graft, and you kind of have to swallow your, I mean, especially if you've sort of done something else previously and maybe been top of your field or whatever. It's about swallowing your pride and going, this is what's possible, and this is where I am. I'm going to work hard, going to be disciplined, going to be nice to people, because that actually goes a long way. Just don't be a dick. Can I say dick? It's bad.
Should we put boob in there?
I mean,
noise,
I sometimes swear a lot. I mean, it's probably very un-Asian of me, but hey.
Me too. Only in certain circumstances, and then everyone's really shocked and horrified.
I think people have got used to me doing it now. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, don't be difficult. Don't be a diva. And learn constantly, basically. Because you can learn from any situation, learn from anyone, really.
So I'm just giggling because I was in a music seminar once and someone gave that advice about like, don't be a like nice. And I'm like, surely if you need to tell someone that, like, then it's fake and then it's not really real.
This is the thing. It's like, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of people get the wrong idea about the arts, I think, and like they kind of see the superstars and the red carpet stuff, and that's what they think it is, and it kind of, I mean, okay, that is one aspect of it, but it shouldn't be why you're going into the industry or why you're doing what you're doing. Basically, I think it's at the end of the day, that's it. Just, I mean, know when to fight your battles, because there are definite, I mean, certainly being East Asian, there are battles to be fought and sort of, stands to be made, definitely. But know what's right and when you're just being difficult for the sake of it.
Yeah, I've definitely had some moments where I like look back at my younger self and I think, oh, I could have handled that a bit better, or oh, the way I worded that email like looks so not how I meant it, I hate the written language in that sense.
It's, I mean, tricky. I mean, emails, texts, everything is just so tricky how you come across, Yeah, it's tough. And also, you know, you make mistakes, people make mistakes, and just learn from them and don't cling on to them. You know what I mean? Don't. If you're wrong, say you're wrong, apologize, and do better. Rather than
wait there. I'm sorry, everyone, if I've ever seemed like I've been rude. I never meant to be. Perhaps my younger self was naive. Yeah, they're probably not listening because whoever I have upset in the past probably wants to have nothing to do with me.
Same with me. I mean, you know,
there's not a lot of people, can I say? There's probably about 2 or 3 I can count on my hand in the last 10-15 years that I might have been like worded something very poorly and it came across wrong. No,
yeah.
I don't want to make it come across like I'm walking around upsetting people. I
No.
don't. Except
No,
for
you're
maybe,
not.
except for maybe my husband when he's trying to work and I'm like playing piano at home and being really noisy and he's like on a conference call or something. But
God, sharing space is hard.
So yeah, sorry, I've gone off on a tangent. Last thing, have you got what are your hopes for the future? And you can answer that in whatever way you want. So like your hopes for you and your career, for the arts, for the world right now, a bit of yeah. What's your hopes?
My hope is that for the industry in general, that it becomes less entrenched, less exclusive, that it embraces more viewpoints, more stories, a wider range of people, and starts truly representing society as it is.
Oh, you made me well off of it there. I have to compose myself. So just before we finished, while I get myself together, do you want to just let everyone know? I'm sure that'll pop on the screen in a bit, but do you want to just let everyone know where they can find you if they want to chat to you or hire you or ask you for advice or follow you?
Sure. I'm on Twitter as at echo_bravo_Lima. I know that's complicated, sorry. I'm also on Instagram as at Eugenia Low _actor. And I'm on Facebook as just me. There aren't that many Eugenia Lows, and I don't think anyone else looks like me. So yeah. And I'm with Mrs. Jordan Associates as my agent, and I'm on Spotlight, IMDb. I mean, there's so many ways of reaching out. Just throw it out there, basically.
Yeah, find you their favorite way, what they like using. You're on most of the stuff. Cool. So thanks everyone for listening. Thanks Eugenia for your time. It's been a pleasure chatting to you, and I feel really inspired, and I feel like I found a bit of a kindred spirit. Yeah.
We'll talk more.
Maybe you can stay around and chat afterwards. But for now, listeners, I just want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this interview and you want to see more like this. And please do subscribe if you want to get alerts, and click the bell button if you want to get those alerts. Thank you very much, everyone, for your support. Thank you again for your time, everyone involved, listeners, Eugenia, and yeah, see you in the next one.